Today's topic is 5 mistakes you're probably making that are
Mm.
preventing you from fat loss and muscle gain. And both of those are important because as women, oftentimes we think about fat loss, but the muscle is what's going to create that shape that we want, like those curves, create that like sexy look under your clothes. You won't have to wear Spanx. You won't have to wear the girdle or the compression, everything. It's like it's your natural Spanx is like your muscles. And so that's what we want, but most people are not getting it. And I've been going to the gym for 20 years now, and a lot of times I'll see the same people and they
Yes.
don't look different 6 months later, 12 months later. And they're there. I see them every day. And I was one of those people. I didn't look different. I looked the same, which is good if you're over 40, you're not going backwards, but we don't want good. We want optimal. We want to look great. We want to feel amazing.
Yes.
And I actually did some research before this call and I came up with, so I looked at like in the United States, body image, like how satisfied is the general public
Mm.
with their body? And so only 19% of women felt somewhat satisfied
That's
with
interesting.
how their body looks.
Mm.
23% of men, so men are a little bit more confident. But on top of that, 20% of women said they were shameful about their body. So they were
Wow.
embarrassed by their body.
Wow.
34% said they're depressed by their body. They actually get sad, cry, and are depressed when they look at their body, when they think about their body, and when they shop for clothing. And then 19% were just downright disgusted, where it was actually like gut wrenching for them to think about their body.
Wow. That's interesting.
And so overall, 81% are extremely unhappy with their body. And this is why I got such great results from working with Coach Kijon because the way he trains is so much different than how I've learned. I was a personal trainer in college, so I went through the personal training certification. I did not learn the things that he teaches. And even other trainers I work with, I've done so many different programs and continuing education around fitness and physiology. And I've never seen the techniques that Coach Kijon uses. So I didn't want to gatekeep this. I know like if this is the stats for America, it's probably the stats for people on this call as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And so I'm not working out longer than I
Mhm.
did before. I'm not working out, I'm not exhausting my body like I was. I was killing my adrenals before, hurting my hormones, depleting my body. And then also the nutrition. I'm eating more food now.
Yes.
I'm actually eating more carbohydrates, which I know we vilify carbs, but also on top of that, I was already doing good on the protein. So I knew I was on the protein bandwagon all along, but healthy fats, carbs, the balance wasn't there for my own genetics. And so Coach Keaton got it all together for me to make it simple,
Yes.
make it doable, fit in my lifestyle. And so I didn't want to like keep that to myself. And I want to share that with you guys. So that's why we created our GLOWFIT program. So GLOWFIT is all encompassing. It's nutrition to fuel your body and balance your hormones. It's the workouts that are going to be customized to your genetic type and to
Yes.
what you need and to your goals. What do you want? And then also mindset, accountability, ongoing progression, and ongoing coaching. So that's kind of what we created. But on top of that, we want to help you guys as well. So that's what this is about tonight. So
Yes.
there's these mistakes, and Coach Keaton came up with 5 things that he sees over and over again over the course of 35 years
Yes.
that people just keep doing. And I don't know if it's because society tells us this or we just think that it's right. It's like counterintuitive
Yes.
sometimes to do the right thing.
Yes.
Even sometimes things that we talk about leading up to my competition, I'm like, I want to go do this. And he's like, well, no, I know that's what you think you should do, but this is actually what you should do. And here's why. And he gives me the science behind it. And then I agree
Yes.
with it. Right. So I want to help you guys. And so definitely this is going to be interactive as well. So there's a chat down below. Put in the chat. Let me know if there's something that you want to know, any confusion that you have or anything that you want. This does apply to women and men. Most of my audience is women, so a lot of times I talk about women, but all of these, I don't, there's none of these that don't apply.
They apply. Yeah. They apply to everybody, every gender. Yes. And just to touch base before we delve into this is like, so, she mentioned earlier just a second ago, how, and she's correct. I live in the gym. I've been training. She's 45.
You don't actually live in the gym
I
though.
live in Okay, I live in the gym. 40, I go home to get out of my house. But anyways, um, I wanted to say, she said that, she goes to the gym and sees the same people over and over and over, months and years, and they never change. And if you're in rather good shape, that's a good thing. But most people are going to the gym to see improvement. If you were to ask me and put me in a corner, so let's put me in a corner, when can I see substantial? Whoa, you've changed your body, Vera. You look amazing, Andrea. The answer is if you're following a productive program of nutrition, rest, recovery, mindset in 3 months, 12 weeks, you should be pretty much maybe not exactly where you want to be ultimately, but people will be noticing what have you done in the last few months. And that's what's happened with Dr. Michelle. I don't even want to go to the gym when there's members because she gets stopped. Hey, I've been watching you for all this time. Then what have you done lately?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a timeline. We're talking about the go flip.
And I didn't change my hormones. I didn't change my supplements. I changed my food and my workouts.
Yes.
So I was already on estrogen and progesterone, our Glow Natural Wellness products, and just the like Daily Glow, which is a multivitamin, a nighttime formula, omega-3. So nothing crazy.
Oh yeah, because everyone's saying, "Oh, you must be taking testosterone."
Yeah, like
And
I've
she's
had
getting
people on Instagram, like, how much testosterone are you taking? I actually don't take any testosterone or DHEA because I don't need it right now.
yes,
Most people don't know that weightlifting actually naturally increases
yes,
your testosterone levels.
yes.
So luckily, I don't need it yet, but I probably will need it at some point.
Maybe.
And I'm not opposed to it. As long as it's natural bioidentical, but it's not necessary to get results.
Yes.
Absolutely. So let's get into, so this is going to be recorded. So you don't have to worry. And then we will go over, there's a question about intermittent fasting. We're going to go over that in a little bit.
Absolutely.
All right. So number one, what's the first mistake?
Okay. If you are eating healthy, I just asked the young man this question, is over and underestimating caloric intake. So I just asked a young friend of mine in the gym, he's eating healthy. I said, is it possible you could overeat and actually gain fat or gain weight on 10,000 calories worth of celery sticks? He's like, absolutely not. They're celery sticks. Number one, you possibly couldn't eat 10,000 calories. But at the end of the day, if you physically could, yes, you can put on weight and fat with 10,000 calories worth of celery sticks. Because what happens is even though it's healthy foods, if you're eating too much calorie to burn fat is calorie deficit.
I thought that celery was like a negative. You actually
Oh yeah,
burn more calories digesting celery.
maybe a stalk. Yeah, even ice water is considered a negative calorie. I mean, it takes more calories to heat up the cold water. So what I'm talking about is
You're saying 10,000 calories of anything.
of anything,
Okay.
healthy or not.
I like to give Coach Kijon a hard time.
Yeah, 10,000 calories of the best foods on the planet will still add up to weight gain, caloric intake. And so that's why the number one thing is over and underestimating caloric intake. So you can eat very, very healthy, but if your body metabolic rate burns, I'm making up a number, 1,500 calories, and you're eating 4,000 every day of good foods, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're not going to drop body fat.
So even not knowing what your ideal calorie intake should be for your goals, right? A lot of people, I didn't even know. So most people don't know for their goal. So if your goal is fat loss and muscle gain, like a body recomp,
Yes.
that's going to be different than a straight fat loss or maintaining.
Mm-hmm.
And it will change also as you gain more muscle, you'll actually need to eat more food.
And that's exactly what happened with you. You were started off about 1,500. She built so much lean tissue. Now, when we say built so much, I mean, she didn't
I'll show you guys. Like, I'm not like giant. I have muscles.
She didn't get big. She actually got smaller.
Yeah, I'm not big. I'm toned.
Yeah,
So,
very ultra toned. But she went up to 2,500 calories. So it's important that for those that are trying to drop fat and increase their metabolism, you have to know how many calories that you're bringing in. That's number one. The second part of that is if you take two women, Michelle's age and height and weight, and they eat 1,500 calories worth of all carbs, and Dr. Michelle eats 1,500 calories of balance of protein, carbs, and fat, totally different hormonal response from all carbs versus a balanced diet. So it's very, very important that you, the viewers out there, not just know what your caloric intake is to reach your goal, which is mostly drop fat, increase your lean tissue, but also the ratios of carbs, protein, and fat. And
Yeah.
that's one of the major staples of the GlowFit program. First thing
Yeah.
is giving your macros. You have to know
Yeah.
your macros. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So in GlowFit, like we have you fill out an intake form. So we're learning about your history, your current habits, how active you are, what you're eating, if you have any health issues, any injuries. We're asking you to take some photos so we can see what your body looks like. We're doing measurements, your height and your weight. And then we'll ask you about your goals. And then with all that information, that's how Coach Kijon will determine what
Yes.
your starting macros will be and your starting calories. So it's really it's a science, but it's also there's a little bit of finessing, a little art to it as well.
Because everybody's different.
Yeah, everyone's different. And then your genetics are going to come into play as well. As you know, GLOW stands for genetic leveraging for optimal wellness. And what that means is taking what you were born with
Yes, and maximizing it.
and maximizing it, not pushing against it, not putting everyone on the keto diet or everyone on the South Beach diet because it might work for one person and it might not work for
That's
somebody
right.
else.
And actually, something that worked in my 20s is not working as I push 60.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
that's got it.
That should have been one of the
Yeah.
top five.
Well, we just
Like
figured it
what worked for you to lose weight and to be fit when you were 20 years old is totally different now. You have a totally different metabolism.
Yes. And was fixing that. Oh, please remember, and I'm going to keep driving this home the whole conversation, is being a trainer, master trainer for 35 years. I've worked with the entire gamut of genre, age, goals, injuries, blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling you right now, I don't care how old you can be, 20 years older than I am watching this, is that science says that you can at any age improve your neurological, your physiological strength. And so don't say, well, I'm 65 now, the best years are behind me. The number one thing in the GlowFit program and the people that work with me, the first thing that whenever Dr. Michelle came into my program, I'm listening to her talk and I'm like looking at her thinking, what is this woman's mindset? So it's all make believe. So if you're out there and you're getting all this information, but your underlying thought is, well, I'm 65 years old. I can't, ever look and feel good or the way I want to. No amount of information coming through to you will reach you. So the first thing and the most important thing after we could finish this phone call, I mean, this video, is please know that you're worthy and yet, yes, you can do it with the right knowledge, the right support system, and belief.
And don't let any doctor tell you that you're too old to gain
Oh,
muscle or you're too old to exercise, or you're too old to do sports. Like any doctor that tells you that is probably one, not fit themselves. Like they're probably not in the best shape of their life. If they have like the body that you want, then maybe listen to them. But like I looked for the guy that was like the fittest guy in the gym to teach me how to become fitter. Like I'm not gonna go to like someone who's slightly overweight to like ask them how to be the best at what it is.
And there's a saying that says, never take advice from someone whose life you would not want to live. That's a pretty solid statement.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Awesome. Yeah. So a couple people are asking. So the GlowFit program, I will put a link in the chat if you're interested. It's 50% off right now this
Mm.
week. And then also we're giving you a free bottle of Goddess Drops to start you out, which is our metabolic activator and like craving control to kind of help you get off to a good start. Also helps with your brain health. Let's see, like Barbara, can you just mute yourself because when you make noise, the video cuts out and goes to you. So if your name is Barbara, just go ahead and mute yourself. And then if I can figure out how to do it while Coach Kijon's talking, I'll do that. All right. Let's see. So that's number one. I'm going to look at your questions right now. So in between, we'll answer some questions.
Sure,
How's
absolutely.
that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's see. Does this information apply only to, oh, I answered that already. So I don't know if you're talking about the stats that I gave you. So the stats, only 23% of men felt they were satisfied, only 19% of women. And then the breakdown, the shame, the disgust, the sadness, those were women's stats, but men were actually very similar. It's like a percentage or two off. The fact of the matter is 81% of women are extremely unhappy. And what is it? 77% of men. So it's pretty close.
Yes.
And then if you're asking about the other things, the macros, the tips that we're talking about today, those definitely apply to both men and women. And that's kind of cool about both of us in this program because I'm 51, I'm a woman. Coach Kijon's 58. He's a man. We both work with both men and women, and everything we do applies to both. It's going to be different though. You're not going to have the same macros or calories as your husband, and you're not probably going to lift the same weights or maybe even do the same exercise. You might do some of the same exercises.
Right.
You might do some slightly different. You might do like 2 days, you might do the same workout, and then the third day you might have some different exercises for your goals. So, it's all kind of customizable. All right, so let's see. Next question. I had 5 surgeries. I'm concerned about pacing it so that I can manage my workouts.
How can I say this? We just talked about I had a Achilles tendon rupture. I snapped my Achilles tendon, and they had to they had to put it back together. And whenever I recovered and did my own rehab, I know muscles, but tendons and ligaments, I know what they are. But anyways, I did a lot of research. So the point that I'm driving home is now no one would ever know that I even had an injury. They're looking at it like your calf is normal. It doesn't even look like it's ever injured. So while I'm not your doctor or a doctor, and I don't know what your injuries are, I will say this: fresh oxygenated blood, movement, movement and exercise. Hold on 1 second.
That's okay.
Okay, movement and exercise, and working through a range of motion that supports your healing is very important. I remember right after my surgery, which happened a couple of years ago, the first thing that I did, I had my boot on and I protected it like I was supposed to, as my doctor wished. But I'm gonna have to probably answer that, like I said, without giving you any direct information, because I don't want to, nor do I know exactly your situation. Is don't let what you can't do stop you from what you can do. I mean, if you can sit in a chair and just move your arms and get oxygenated blood, there's nobody on the planet that's going to say, oh yes, breathing deeply and getting fresh oxygenated blood is bad for you. So what I'm trying to say is, please listen to your body. Some days I have shoulder issues and I just cannot do certain movements. I don't do those movements, but that will not prevent me from doing the things that I can. Okay. So get in exercise, do range of motion that, you feel comfortable. And with time and consistency, you'll slowly improve.
Yeah, and I would definitely recommend working with a trainer or getting some
Yes.
professional analysis and making sure that your form is correct and making sure that you're doing the correct exercises.
Yes.
That's definitely a good idea, but definitely don't stop, because your body, when it's sedentary, that's when disease happens, when it's stagnant. And so you definitely want your blood moving, you want your muscles getting oxygenated, and you want those cells to renew themselves, because that's what your body does. It's constantly renewing itself. It's constantly becoming new and healing itself. It wants to heal itself.
Yes.
And so movement, nutrition, stress reduction, rest and recovery, getting out in nature, these are all things that are going to help your body to heal. And so, yeah, you definitely need all of them, though. You can't just have one or the other. So movement's definitely important.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid.
Yes. One quick pro tip. I know it's a little off subject, but it's important. A lot of people always, especially family and friends, they call me like, hey, I'm thinking about getting a trainer for my wife, for whatever. And my advice, if you're looking for a trainer, is if you have if it's possible to observe a trainer, watch how people interact with each other. You can tell by watching somebody if they're genuinely concerned and involved in their clients. That's what even when I go to gyms, different gyms, I'll just watch trainers. A lot of times in between, they're looking at their phone, not paying attention. So if you're looking to hire a trainer where you are physically, observe. Energy says everything. So that's my little pro tip as a trainer. To find a trainer, you can kind of see where they are mentally, if they really love their work or they're there for a paycheck. Kind of off topic, but that's just a little trainer thing.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah, because not all trainers are created equal, for sure.
Nor do they care.
Yeah.
That's just not just trainers. I'm just saying.
Well, any job,
Right?
right? Some people are just doing it to get a paycheck, and some people are doing it because they love what they do.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, let's go to number 2, and then we'll go back to the questions.
Okay. This here is my thing. Okay. Number 2 is my thing, and that is not pushing hard enough, not working to failure. Okay. So let me explain that. So if I were to say to everybody in the group knows what a 1 mile distance is for the most part. If I said to you guys, I want everybody after this video, after this taping, I want you to go out and try to run a mile in, let's just say, 8 minutes. A lot of you guys are like, that's impossible. However, whenever we talk to people about training, we always say you have to train really hard. Every single person every single person, sorry, every single person believes that they're training hard, okay? And from my observation, you have to understand that lean tissue is a stimulatory response. My muscles got larger and bigger, not because it was fun, not because it wanted to happen. It was a response to a stimulus. Most people don't train hard enough. The reason why Dr. Michelle fully bought into the program is I remember when we first started, I said, what is your best exercise and what is the strongest and what are the numbers? And we immediately surpassed that, and her body started responding instantly. So one short, quick analogy is if I were to have everybody go on a treadmill and say, you have 5 minutes to cover as much distance as you can, report back to me. So I would have everyone's 5 minute treadmill distance. And then I would say, every time you got on a treadmill for the next 30 days, you must increase the distance of the 5 minute within the 5 minutes. And I'm telling you right now, your bodies would change. So if Lisa does 1 mile in 5 minutes, and at the end of 30 days, she'd get 8, 9 miles, your body would not look the same. There's a lot of accountability to that. So whenever I train with my clients, all right, Dr. Michelle, last Monday you did 35-pound incline dumbbell chest press. You got it 9 reps. We are getting 12 today. No matter what, we are getting 12.
Yeah.
That's where the results come. What's your experience with pushing harder now, and what's happened to your body that you're actually training hard enough and going to failure?
Well, one thing is like my confidence has gone up, right? Because before I would just look limited at what I thought I could do. And
Mhm.
now like my mind is like I can always do more. I'm getting better. I'm constantly getting stronger.
Yes.
And so I think the biggest thing is a shift in my mindset. Of course, definite shift in my body. I could see muscle definition where I couldn't see it before. I've actually like dropped weight, like my waist is smaller, my body is like physically smaller but more muscular, and so it's definitely a confidence booster. Definitely feel more comfortable, but the confidence in like just knowing that I can take on more than I took on before,
Yes.
definitely, um it's a boost, and it makes me feel more energetic, makes me feel happier. I'm sleeping better at night. So I think like overall it's been awesome. But one thing that you just mentioned, how you asked me what my best exercise was, or how my best thing, but we also a lot of times focus on what I'm worst at, or what
Yes.
like my
Yes.
weakness, right?
Yes.
And like the things I'm like, oh, I don't like that exercise, or it's hard, it hurts, or I don't like it. And then you always say, well, that's what we have to work on,
Yes. Yes.
right? Because it's all about balance. And so if one part of my body is weaker, I'm not going to be balanced if I just ignore that part.
Yes. As a trainer for 35 years and still going, is all my clients have an upper body, usually two upper body fitness challenges and a lower body fitness challenge. And to bring that up, in our GlowFit program, every week in our group, we have a lot of mostly women. The challenge of the week is this. And what's happening is now you don't have to put yourself on video, but a lot of people are submitting their videos, and we had a sit-up challenge. And I gotta tell you,
It
these
is
these
awesome.
people are getting results because like, okay, Sharon, you got in 1 minute you got 6 sit-ups. We got to double that number here within the next 10 days. And I
They go hard and they cheer each other on. And
yes,
like, yeah, so we basically we'd start the week with like the assessment. And so you give it your best shot. And then throughout the week, we're improving, and every single person
yes,
is improving. And most people have gotten dramatic results in just 30 days. We've only had the program going for 30 days.
yes.
And oh my God, like the results are
Well,
amazing.
well, I have sons that play sports, and I tell them like once you graduate high school or college, a lot of the people watching this played sports. When you were younger, you were accountable to your coaches, your teammates, and some degree parents. But after you got to a certain age, nobody like they're like, "Hey, where were you at practice, Michelle?
Yeah.
Why didn't you show up?" So what happens is when you get involved in a program, whether you go find a trainer where you are, get involved in a GlowFit program, there's accountability.
Mm.
And in my opinion, as a trainer, it's funny because not my goal, and I have to say something real quick. We talk about the physical aspect of it, and Michelle and I we just said this. Even if we lived in a world with no vision, we would look exactly the same way because it's a feeling. We feel
Mm.
amazing. So yes, we're talking about dropping body fat and all that, but I gotta tell you, the real reward of any fitness program, especially the GlowFit program, is the confidence. Is I find myself just as creative and passionate in pushing 60 as I was in my 20s.
Well, not to
That
mention,
that's
like,
what this is
yeah,
about.
but not to mention the mobility, like being able to do more things, um, being able to like, I don't know, play with your kids, have a good sex life, right? These are things that are physical, and if you're like coughing and puffing, you can't actually enjoy it. And then also, disease prevention, like having that belly fat around your big session is the worst thing for you. It's going to put you at higher risk for heart disease, higher risk for all kinds of problems. And then osteoporosis is a big problem, especially
Oh
for
my God,
women.
bone density thing with
Bone density, the best thing you do for your bone
yes.
density is going to be putting a weight, putting a load against those bones, strength training, along with making sure that you have proper estrogen levels. So those two together, you can't have one or the other. You have to have both.
Mhm.
And so important, so
Yes.
important.
And to touch base one more time about not pushing hard enough, whether people who are local work with me or online, and especially the GlowFit program, is what's happening is you're going to have rep schemes, okay? You're going to do 4 sets. These are the reps you're going to do. And the goal is to continue to increase your strength and your weights each time that you train.
In a very targeted, controlled way.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we're just like go lift as heavy as you can, because that's not what we do.
No, it's about a pro tip. I could care less how much weight I lift, how much weight any of my clients lift, or how much weight you lift. What I do care about is that you physically get stronger. Then we go with the bone density and neurological, physiological changes. So life and fitness should be about increasing your strength. I could care less about weight.
Yeah. And a lot of times I'll do exercises that I used to do before I worked with Coach Kijon. He'll actually have me do less weight, but with better form, more range of motion, and with squeezing at particular times and like holding at particular times, going faster or slower.
And that's the flex tempo. I saw one of the questions was, what is a flex tempo?
Tempo flex.
Yeah, tempo flex. Yeah, and what is a tempo flex? And that's exactly what Dr. Michelle's saying. We will do 21s. We'll do partial reps. After you go to failure, we'll hold it 90 degrees. So that terminology is basically maximizing the range of motions and targeting aspects of the range of motion to really isolate certain parts of the muscle group that we're working.
Yeah, and you have like the specific points in the movement where
I'd say
it's
yes.
it's more the tension is there
Mhm.
and you're holding it for a specific time period of time, and that varies at different workouts. So I think like that is, I know that is the deciding factor. That's the game changer
Yes,
of why I got better results
absolutely. Yes.
with this program, with your programs over like other, like, because I follow programs online, done the beach body thing, I've done like all the things, and I got some results, like
Yes.
some results, and I'm not saying they don't work, like everything works,
Yes, to a certain
but like I like to be the best at what I do. I like to like how I do one thing is how I do everything, and I want to maximize, I want to optimize
Mhm.
in the time that I have and get the most out of what I'm doing. And as you know, I have Paxton, my son. Those of you who've been following me, I had him when I was 41, so I'm 51 now, so he's 10. So I have to live a long time for him to grow up and have me in his life. So my goal is to be as healthy, as strong, as fit as humanly possible so that I could be there for him
Yeah.
later in life. So I'm doing all the things. I'm seeking out all the best people. I'm researching all the best supplements. All the things that we do in Glow Natural Wellness is kind of a selfish thing for me because I want to be the best and then I share it with you guys. So it's kind of like what my company is all about. It's like, how can I live forever? And then I'll share it with the rest of the world. Awesome. All right, a couple more questions.
Yeah,
What's
sure.
your opinion on intermittent fasting, specifically 16/8?
Well, it's ironic. I've been getting that question a lot, and just a short backstory. I grew up. My first competition was in 1990, and I was programmed and designed programmed myself to eat. Got to eat every 2.5 hours. Can't miss a meal. Blah 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 blah. I lived that life. I was the ultimate. If I didn't eat,
It's a classic bodybuilder thing,
oh,
right?
yeah, classic bodybuilding, eating 6, 7 small meals throughout the day and never missing a meal, never missing protein. Then let's fast forward to life. Life will humble you and you will learn lessons. And then, life happens. You have kids, and things go on. And then you look up and like, oh my God, it's 12 o'clock. I missed 4 meals already. And you know what? I didn't die. So I'm a massive fan of intermittent fasting. I was just having this conversation. At the end of the day, we talked about getting your macros and caloric calories in and your macros in. What I'm here to tell you is that there comes a time where if you wake, there's times where I wake up and I am starving. Guess what? I'm eating breakfast at 5 a.m. And then there's times where I wake up and I'm still full from the meal the
Yeah.
night before. So what I've graduated to after all these decades and pushing 60 is your body is the best communicator of what it needs. Okay. Now I'm not talking the sugar craving or the alcohol craving, that's the
Well, your
programming.
body is the best communicator of what it needs when you're living a clean lifestyle.
Yes, because your body will crave what you're putting into it.
Yeah, so if you're eating a bunch of processed foods, a bunch of sugar, if
Yeah.
you're, smoking marijuana, smoking cigarettes,
Will
drinking
crave,
alcohol,
you will crave that.
your body's going to give you the wrong signals because it's going to crave those things that because they're a quick hit and then it's like down and then it needs that quick hit again.
That's exactly right.
But that's why we start the GLOWFIT program with a detox.
Detox,
So
yeah.
everyone's kind of detoxing, getting rid of all the junk. It's 10 days, it's not forever, but that is what setting you up to have those body signals so you can have that intuitive
Yes,
eating.
accurate body signals,
Yeah.
true body signals. And so, yes, I mean, and I'm so, whenever she told me that the GlowFit program was going to start off with a detox, I was like, what a great call, Doc. So, yes, I'm a big fan. I will say this, I'm not telling you guys to do a 24, 48, 60, 72 hour fast, but I have the longest I've gone is I think like 2.5 days. And I got to tell you, I worked up to that. And I know there's people doing a lot longer than that. Each fast that I've gone beyond 24 hours has been the most amazing experience. So I'm not here to tell you that that's what you should do, need to do. All I'm saying is be open to it. And if you're hearing these words and it resonate with you, Google autophagy. How do you spell autophagy?
It's
Uh,
autophagy,
uh, hey,
AUTOPHAGY, autophagy.
Google autophagy.
I
That
feel like
your
I'm in a spelling bee.
I know, right? And, but anyways, your body scours and scavenges itself and gets rid of the weak and dying cells, and it's an
Mhm.
amazing process. And one final thing about that is like if you think about it as adults here, when's the last time that you went for an extended period of time? The hardest process on the human body is actually digestion, assimilation, and excretion of food. It
Mhm.
takes a lot of calories and energy on your body. So imagine a body for 24 hours. I remember the first time I did a 24-hour fast, I thought I'd be so tired and
Yeah.
so down. I was like, why am I so energized? Because my body actually had a break for the first time. I'm 58. I think I did my first fast couple at 56. So the first time in 56 years of age, my body had nothing to do for 24 hours and without going too crazy, I was just connected to source and life and energy. So I'm a big fan of fasting. Do your research.
Yeah, so with the 16, 8, like I think like almost everybody should be doing 12-hour
Mhm.
fast, right?
Yes,
It's like
agreed. I like
you're
the
not
12.
supposed to be eating when you're sleeping. You should be sleeping at least 7 to 9 hours,
Yes.
right? And then so you don't need to eat like right before you go to bed or right when you wake up. So
Okay.
like 12 hours, that's kind of like what should be normal because you got to give your body time to like process that food.
Yes. And 12 hours is easy to do.
Yeah.
It's 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Yeah, and if you want to push it a little 16-8, I have no problem with that if that works for you. But again, listen to your body because there might be some days where your body does want
Oh,
some food. And if
yes.
you don't listen to it, that's going to hurt your cortisol and your adrenals, which can then cause hormone imbalances in women. And so we really want to listen to our body. Sometimes we do require something right in the morning.
Yeah. And so that's a really great question. Look, that was not something we had written down, but like I said, fasting is, I think as, we keep evolving, fasting has been proven to just have the most amazing benefits out there. So
Yeah,
I
and in
support.
the GoFit program, the detox does take you through some intermittent fasting and then into an optional 24-hour fast. If you don't want to do the 24-hour fast or can't do it because you're on medication, that's completely okay. You can keep with the intermittent fasting.
Mhm.
The detox, you're still eating whole real foods. You're eating normal meals, so you could still eat with your family, but it's super duper clean. And we have a special little detox drink that you do in the morning. We have the kind of like mindfulness exercises that you're going to do to detox your brain and detox from like all the digital stuff. And so it is very, very transformative. We had people have amazing results in that first 10 days as well.
Field night transform.
Yeah,
Transform is a big word here.
exactly. Awesome. All right. So that was a great question.
Hmm.
Um, Okay, we answered that one. Okay, menopausal women struggle with the belly area. I'm not overweight and I lift weights, but what do you specifically recommend for the belly fat?
Uh, Genetically speaking, most women, not all, they carry their extra body fat in their hips and in their legs.
Until menopause.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Now for men, they carry it in their waist. So genetically speaking, where you carry your body fat is the genetic predisposition.
But when you hit menopause, you might not know this, women lose their estrogen
Hmm.
and their progesterone, and they're left a lot of times only with their testosterone. So they
Hmm.
become more like men, storing
That's
their body
interesting.
fat where men store.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. However, to right on, thanks for that information. Very informative. At the end of the day, we talked about this at the beginning of the podcast, is like to lose body, yes, you can lose body fat at any stage in life. However, it's going to be the calorie deficit. So what I found, everybody that I've ever worked with, pre-postmenopausal, young, old, it doesn't matter. Most people were just not eating in their macro and micronutrient profile, basically too many calories in to lose body fat.
Yeah, and I think as you so the where you carry your weight, like where you say you carry your weight, that's usually the last place you're going to lose the weight from.
Hmm.
So I carry my weight more like in my thighs than my midsection, and so that's the last place I'll lose my weight from.
Yes.
But if I get my muscles working and I have build more muscle mass, I'm going to then have a higher metabolic rate, and so I'm going to burn more fat
Yes.
just sitting here, like right now.
Yes. The secret to living a fit, healthy life and keeping body fat, manageable is increasing your metabolism. And your metabolism is, we keep talking about it, lean tissue or muscle.
Yeah. And then also with the belly fat is linked a lot to cortisol and stress. And so making sure that you're fueling your body the way it needs to be fueled, making sure that you're not overdoing it with the exercises, overdoing the cardio, um, beating your body up. You're making sure that you're doing your rest and recovery and all those things are super important. So that's a lot of times why people carry fat around the midsection as
Mm,
well.
yes.
Awesome. Great question. I'll do one more. I gained rather than lost using a trainer for a year, but I have thyroid Hashimoto's and suddenly last May, I'm all immunoglobulin and allergic to lots of foods. Guess because I'm 70, I can't get anywhere. I'm not getting enough protein, but made my legs look too thick. Okay, so a lot in there.
Yeah, right.
All right. So first question, first issue, gain weight rather than lost it when she hired a trainer. She does have a autoimmune thyroid issue, which probably needs to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
That could cause her metabolism to drop. So making sure that we clean up inflammation, that we boost your immune health, that we omit things that are going to be causing it to get worse, things like gluten, things like dairy can be really detrimental for people with Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And healing the gut is going to be really, really important. So I would recommend if you're have never done so, like doing a GI map, which is a gut microbiome test to see how your microbiome is, because that is usually when you have leaky gut or when you have gut issues or imbalance of your bacteria, that's usually how autoimmune diseases start. And so if we can go back to root cause and we can heal and seal the gut and get the microbiome boosted back up, that's going to help you overall and reduce. I personally have had Hashimoto's thyroiditis for since I was 22, and I have it completely under control now. I actually lost a third of my thyroid, so that's how bad it was. I went a good like 10, 15 years without even knowing that I had this issue. And so it wasn't until I went to medical school that I understood what was going on. And I ate gluten, like I grew up in an Italian family in New York. So we ate pizza, pastries, pasta, like every meal had like 7 types of gluten in it. So that was really, really bad for my thyroid. And then also things like the chemicals in the water, fluoride in the toothpaste, chlorine in pools. These are all things that can also hurt your thyroid. So getting educated about thyroid health is super important. But as when you're talking about gaining weight with a trainer, it could be muscle that you gained. I'm not sure if it's fat or muscle. It may not be the trainer. It might be the thyroid condition, but it's not because you're 70. I'm going to tell you that. It's not because not your age. It might be your gut microbiome balance. It could be your hormone health. It could be your stress. It could be your nutrition, or it could be your exercise, but it's definitely not your age.
Yes. And to kind of follow up with that, the first thing that I do whenever I get a new client is, and I'm not sure, I'm not disrespecting or talking down to any trainers. This is what I do that has brought me tremendous success with all age clients. Number one, what is your body fat? Because I have to find out what your basal metabolic rate is. That's the first and foremost. I take it myself by the calipers, which I'm very good at doing, or there's a local test called the InBody, which I really like that test. That's number one. Okay, is that you should be getting your body
Or
conscious.
online, we'll do measurements and pictures
Yes,
so we can kind of like infer what the body fat range
yes.
will be.
And number two, the hardest thing as a personal trainer, I can motivate a rock, and I can seriously, I can motivate a rock. The hardest thing for a trainer to get anyone to do is actually track their macros. And so what happens is, like she said, it's not your age. If you didn't know what your basal metabolic rate, well, for your body fat, it tells you how much muscle you have. That tells you what your metabolism is, how much calories your body burns at rest. So that gives me a destination knowing what her body fat is. Her calories went up every time she dropped. I'm like, we're increasing your calories again. She's like, shouldn't we be eating less? And number two, if you weren't Paulette, right? Yes. If you weren't tracking your calories, I'm driving blind. So
Yeah.
if you were my client, I know like, first thing I would tell you is go out and find out what your body fat is, and that'll give you your basal metabolic rate. And from there, now you know where to go. And then you start doing your macros and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So
yes.
she knows she's not eating enough protein.
Yeah, yes. And the thing about protein, the reason why protein has and always will be the buzzword is muscle is made out of amino acids. Don't get me wrong, I love blueberries and strawberries and potatoes and all the healthy carbs, and I eat all the healthy carbs. But those are energy foods. They don't give you the building blocks to build lean muscle.
Mhm.
So if you can get a couple things from me from this conversation, is drink a lot of water. Okay, and in my opinion, people always comment on my skin, how youthful and skin tight. They're like, what do you use? I'm like, water. And number two is start tracking your protein. This is very important for all the viewers. Is the average client gets a minimum of 100 grams of protein. Now, a lot of women, I mean, I can't see your faces, but whenever I say that to a female's face, they're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I said, Mrs. Jones, do you even know how many calories 100 grams of protein is? Nobody ever knows how many calories 100 grams of protein is. 100 grams of protein equates to 400 calories. Everyone watching this should probably be in the 1500 caloric intake range, give or give or take. So if you were eating a whopping 400 calories, which is 100 grams, you're still eating 1100 worth of carbs and fat. So
Yeah.
once you look at it from that perspective, you're like, wow, 100 grams of protein is not that many calories. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. So try to remember that. That will change your life.
I almost ate 100 grams of protein in one meal yesterday.
Yes, yes. But every fit person, that's why protein amongst the higher level fitness people is we know that our muscle is built from amino acids, which is protein. And the older that I keep getting, with 60, God willing, I make it to 70, I will not lose my metabolism because I know if I'm eating the protein, my body will not cannibalize. And that's what your body does. Cannibalizes muscle tissue because the muscle tissue equivalent is 3,500 calories per pound. And actually, 1 pound of fat, guess what? 3,500 calories.
Mhm.
So your body, as you age, will actually start eating itself. So you can prevent that by getting, at least 100 grams of protein.
Yeah, and if you guys have ever seen like the demonstration, like the pound of fat is like this big, but the pound of muscle is like this big. So you actually
You
shrink.
do not bulk up from muscle.
Yeah, so you bulk up from cupcakes.
Yeah, cupcakes.
Okay, so let's see. Paulette wants to know how much our program is. So I'll share my screen real quick so you can see what the program looks like. Let's see, share. So here, and we have some options. So this is the program, GLOWFIT, Fuel Ignite Transform is what it stands for. So this is basically how the best body of your life, be the most confident that you'll ever be. Run by myself and Coach Kijon. Together, you get the hormone doctor, the naturopathic physician, and then you get the master trainer. Together, we're unstoppable. So, like the power couple here for fitness.
And also too, I have to throw this in here. So now for those that use social media, We're doing like Instagram lives, and we also have a big group that we chat. We're active. Like, it's not like once a week that we do a check-in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, all
We
throughout the week.
all throughout almost every day we're involved in this group, the GlowFit group, and
Or
so
as involved as you want to be. So if you want to send a video of like, hey, I'm doing a squat, can you look at it and tell me if my feet are right, if I'm doing it right? We'll look at it. Coach Kijon will give you the video voicemail, send you a video back. And so we're constantly back and forth. Oh, I can't get all my protein in. Let me look at what you're eating. I'll make some suggestions. I'll show you what I'm eating. And so it is pretty
and not to
awesome.
mention the tons of people in the program who are reaching out and helping each
Yes,
other. But
it's such
that
a supportive
is that's a whole nother
community.
conversation.
So
Yes.
here's right now it's 50% off, so you don't even have to put any coupon codes in. So the year it's 125 a month for so it comes out to I think 1997 for the whole year. Everything's included. 6 months is 166 a month, or if you want to go monthly, it's 199 a month. Right now, you also get the free bottle of Goddess drops too, to kind of get you started. But this includes all your meal planning, all your exercise programming with videos to show you exactly how to do it, weekly accountability calls and weekly coaching, and then daily check-ins and accountability and the support that we do all the time. So it is you,
It's
if you
com
want results, we can guarantee you results. We will help you get those results. If you're willing to put in the work, if you're coachable, if you're willing to follow a program, we can definitely get you those results.
we have the drive and knowledge base, but at the end of the day, we need you to really want it.
Yeah.
Between your desire and our knowledge and inspiration, we're not going to fail.
Yeah, we can't want it more than you, but if you want it, we want it just as much. Like
Yes.
we get excited. Like we're like we see the videos in the group and I'm like, oh my God, did you see this? So it's like our joy. And I know how much it's transformed my life and how important it is in my life. And it's my passion to help people to like feel that feeling and to like be their best. And there's nothing I love to see more than people who are like confident, happy, and like reaching their goals and really like accomplishing something and feeling good. That just lights us both up.
It's like, life can be hard, to make it over 50 years of age. And, then when you get here, you're tired, don't have the energy to live life anymore. I don't think it was designed to be that way,
No.
and we're here, we're here trying to lead the way, not trying, we are leading the way. And for those that are ready, willing, and able, it's just one big fitness family.
Yeah, and I there's lots of programs out there that are run by like 22-year-olds that like
And bless their
may
heart,
or may not have
bless their heart. I
got
mean,
their program off of Chat GPT or copied it from somebody else. And like if you're 22 years old and you don't have children, and you're fit, I'm not that impressed, honestly, because it's not that hard when you're that young and you don't really have anything going on.
it's kind of natural.
Yeah. When you're 55, 60, you have children, you have jobs,
Life
yeah,
beat you up a
life's
little
kind of
bit.
beat you up. You've had some surgeries, some injuries, you've got sick, you're on medication. Like then show me what you can do, right? And so that's more impressive. And so, I've had my share of health issues. I've had my share of ups and downs. I'm super busy. I run Glow Natural Wellness. I have a 10-year-old. So lots going on, but I was able to do this very, very easily into my
Because it was
lifestyle.
important to you.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And then Coach Kejon's been through all kinds of things and life and moving and kids and
But I think that's where
relationships
your
and
strength comes from.
yeah.
Your strength comes from not on top of the mountain popping champagne. Your strength comes from tumbling down the mountainside, going, I gotta get back up there. So, anyways, we're here to help you guys. Even with this, we're gonna keep moving on here. We got a
Yeah,
few
that's right.
more. At the end of the day, we hope that this information, regardless if you join the GlowFit or not, we would like for you to join us. But at the end of the day, we're sincerely, authentically want to help everyone's lives that we touch. So that's why we're
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah. So if you follow me on Instagram, it's Dr. Michelle Sands on Instagram. You can see we actually post our Monday lives. So you can look back to the last couple of
There's a
Mondays.
lot of great
You
information.
can follow along even if you're not in the program.
Mhm.
But if you want that personalized support, you want us to tell you exactly what you should be doing. If you want us to check in with you, then that's where you join the program. But
Mhm.
we're putting it all out there online for free as well.
Yeah, and what you put out in the world comes back to you tenfold. So
Exactly.
I'm good with that.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. All right, let's go to, let's see, number 4. Oh no, did we do this one?
Yeah,
Yes.
another one, yes. Number 4 is consistency and improving your weaknesses. That's very, very hard. So why don't you tell them about, you mentioned about doing the things you really didn't want to do. For men,
Yeah.
it's training their legs. For women, it's training their upper body.
Yeah, well, I didn't mind upper. I just hate training chest or the one that we did yesterday.
Yes.
Oh my God. It was like a what was that? A reverse?
A tricep extension.
No,
Oh,
it was a curl.
first curl for brachioradialis. Basically, you palms are down and then you do a bicep curl. Instead of doing a palm up bicep curl, which hits the face of the bicep, whenever you turn your palm down, it actually hits the forearm and that was a part of the bicep. She hated that.
Yeah, so what I've never did before, and then number 2, I'm like, it hurts, it doesn't feel good. And I normally like I was like, I don't want to do that exercise, but
Yes,
it's going to help make me more symmetric. It's going to help make me more balanced as a whole. Because if you have one weak muscle
that's
on
true.
one side, then
That's
you
really
have a
quick.
strong muscle on the other side. There's a weak link there. It can lead to injury. It can lead to just being unbalanced, and it's not making me my best. So,
Yeah, and also too, how can I say this? If you look at any sport like running, you don't even have to be a sprinter. How many people in this group have popped a hamstring or hamstring pulls?
mm,
So what happens is every time you stand up and down out of your car or kitchen table, you're strengthening your quads. But I can pretty much assure you, unless you guys are working out, watching this, your hamstrings are very suspect. So that what happens is whenever you train the body parts that are weak or not your favorite, every muscle group has an opposing or antagonist muscle group. So every time you flex a muscle, an opposing muscle group is working. Abs the lower back. That's why your lower back hurts when you do abs.
yeah.
So what I'm saying is, it's not only should you strive to hit all aspects of your body, it actually will prevent it's injury prevention, which is extremely important.
Absolutely. I think that that's so important. And even like I used to like not like doing chest
Hmm.
because I just like, oh, I just don't do that.
That's not correct.
Right. Because I just never worked like chest press or anything. I would do like my biceps, my shoulders, things like that, legs. But then, you start doing it and it's a little uncomfortable at first. Maybe like it feels weird for your body, but then once you start doing it, you get better at it, and then you
Like,
become
oh wait, I
better
like.
at the other exercises for the muscles around there and the antagonist muscles, and just, yeah, completely more balanced. Your
So,
posture gets better,
yes.
bone density gets better,
Yeah.
metabolism.
And so for those, I mean, hopefully you guys that are watching this are involved in some form of weight resistance training program. Please train all body parts. The calves are not glamorous. Okay. Even some general shrugs or farmer's walk. None of those exercises are glamorous. But at the end of the day, it's not even about looking good in the gym or lifting heavy weights. It's about being able to hold your children or grandkids. It's about being able to carry your groceries
Without getting hurt.
without getting hurt.
Yeah, because
Yes.
sometimes like when you have to pick something up,
Yeah.
like it's those little tiny muscles that you don't usually work. Those are the ones that
Yes.
that get hurt, right? So if you're working all the muscles and you have strengths everywhere, you're less likely to get injured.
And so, yeah, my program, as far as my personal program that I've done up until meeting Michelle and GlowFit, is it's always balanced. Oh, you don't like training legs, Mr. Larry? We got legs. So same thing with the GlowFit is you will be training all body parts, and the ones that you are weak or the ones that you don't like are probably, and sometimes you just need somebody. This is the program, Michelle. You need to do this, and then after a while, you're like, wow, thank you so much for doing that. So balance in life, balance in body, balance in mind, body, and spirit.
And then did you mean by consistency just like
Yes,
showing up?
I don't, and that's, as a trainer, I find the shelf life of people is usually 3 months, 12 weeks. People sign up, I'm sure we've all bought a treadmill or, something, an elliptical. Then after like 6 weeks, you're hanging your laundry on it. Oh no, we all do that.
That's why a lot of
Don't we
fitness
all?
programs are like 6 or 12 weeks.
Yes, because it wanes. It's interesting. I'm not sure where it came from for me. I did not grow up in a family that people worked out. But I thank God every day that something about me knew that if I were to move my body, it would serve me for the rest of my life. So I don't care what age you are, how in shape or out of shape that you are, is that you can start today if you're not started yet. And within 3, 6, 9 years to come, you will be in the best shape of your life. And I don't care how far gone you are or how far gone you think you are, and what age you are, you can improve. So consistency. It's almost like if every day you put in X% of your paycheck every week to the bank, after a few years, you're like, wow, I saved up a substantial amount of change. Same thing with the human body is that it will get
That's why it's
leaner,
called training, right? That's why I
faster.
like
Yes.
called training at the gym because like you're training your body to do something. So you're not just doing it once.
To thrive.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. And the only reason why we do the whole bodybuilding thing is it gives us a big, scary goal.
Mm.
But consistency, not one of you guys, if you said, okay, I am going to train 3 times a week for the next 6 months without fail, you will not look back at your life and go, wow, did I just waste 6 months? You
Yeah.
just won't. You'll be very proud of yourself. So be consistent. And I guess at the deep root cause, you have to ask yourself, why would I commit to this? And if you can't believe in your heart of hearts that it's worth your life, your children, and just making a great life for yourself, why why would anybody not do this?
Yeah, I agree. But sometimes we do need like a goal.
Oh
And so
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
it doesn't have to be a bodybuilding competition. Like it could be like a race, it could be a photo
A
shoot.
photo shoot's great.
Yeah, I love photo shoots. It could be like getting into a dress or getting into a
Or
pair of
going to your
jeans.
dreams vacation or spot on the planet, going to the plains of Africa, and just being able to be on the plains of
Yeah,
Africa.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
So,
being able to like walk and not feel
yeah, so pick a goal and pick a time frame and go for it. And just FYI, we're already contemplating on getting. We're here at Panama City Beach. I'm not sure if you guys know that or not. Down here in the Panhandle of Florida, and we want to have boot camps on the beach, and we're going to
it's
have a
beautiful here.
yeah,
So
we're
yeah.
gonna create challenges that you guys are going to be invited to.
Or sometimes it might be like a 12-week challenge to a photo shoot at the beach.
Hmm.
So yeah, we have some big plans for you guys, but so consistency is super important. And consistency is what breeds excellence, right? Like consistency is what's going to not only get you the results, but it's also going to build confidence in yourself. What I found is that if I tell myself I'm going to do something, and then I consistently like sacrifice that or let myself down or say like, oh, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or oh, it's not important, or oh, I'm gonna go do this instead. That's like telling me that I'm not worth it.
Mm.
And so the more you commit to something and actually follow through, that's going to build your confidence, going to change the way you feel about yourself, change the way other people treat you, and the level of respect you have for yourself. And also, if you have children, it actually teaches them. You're role modeling for them how to be consistent, how to get things done, and how to actually have that self care and self respect.
Yes.
And so having a program where it's like, okay, this is what you're going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is what you're going to eat. This is how you're going to do it. This is exactly how to do the exercise. This is how many reps to do. This is how long to hold it. Having that, it just helps you be more consistent because I know many of you, myself included, a lot of times when I was going to go to the gym and weight train, I just look at all the equipment and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? Okay, I'll do some biceps. I'll do some leg press, and then it starts to hurt. And I'm like, okay, that's good enough. Let me go run on the treadmill because that's what I know I'm good at.
Mm.
And so a lot of times it's like just having the program laid out that you know it's right for your body and you know that it's actually programmed for you, and it helps you want to do it more instead of like just wondering if like this is the right thing to do. Awesome. Great deal. All right, we're gonna answer a couple more. All right, I answered how much. Is reference hormonal component referring to? No, so hormones, it's your cortisol, it's your insulin, it's your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone, your leptin, your ghrelin. There's so many, oxytocin, dopamine. There's so many hormones, and muscle is very hormonally active, and exercise and just movement of your body and your nutrition is every bite you take, every move you make, every thought you have
Yes.
is a hormonal experience. So it affects your hormones. Your hormones are messengers. And so basically, the outside world is impacting your hormones, and then your inside thoughts and feelings and what you put into your body impacts your hormones. And so, in a nutshell, everything you do is going to impact your hormones in some way. So, if you're doing the things that are going to be beneficial to optimize hormones, you're going to have better hormone balance when it comes to blood sugar, when it comes to sex hormones, when it comes to metabolic hormones, when it comes to hunger hormones, and all those things. So hopefully that makes sense. I know it's a deep topic, but yes, so insulin is definitely one of them for sure. And like when we were talking about glycemic index
Oh
today,
yeah, but that's a good
insulin
call.
resistance and all of that today, that's what we talk about when we eat
I know,
lunch.
right? What's the glycemic index of chair? So that's the question. What is the glycemic index? Is the number attached to a carbohydrate to warrant the insulin response that it has? So pure table sugar has an insulin response, a GI of 100. So everybody out there knows oatmeal is pretty low, probably
Yeah.
34. And I was telling Dr. Michelle today over lunch, we was like, do you know what has the lowest glycemic index that smashes even oatmeal? And it's a fruit, and you know that fruit is actually cherries. Cherries
Yeah.
have a glycemic index about 20 to 25, 23 on the average, and oatmeal has like 34. So when you eat cherries, you get no insulin response. So just for fun, whenever you get done, just Google glycemic index of popular carbohydrates. It's a very watermelon.
Yeah, I
And I'm not saying watermelon is not good for you. All I'm saying is it
it's
has a
very
very
high.
high glycemic index. So just
It was
interest.
interesting because we always say berries are very low glycemic index fruits, and so your strawberries and
Mhm.
your raspberries, those are pretty good at 25, but blueberries are double that at 56. So I did not even realize
And
that.
I'm a blueberry fan. I
I mean,
mean,
that's it. Blueberries are still good.
yeah. So we're not trying to weigh you out about glycemic index, but just having that information and knowledge, like 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. The lowest glycemic index food out there is cherries. No
Mhm.
kid's going to get a sugar rush eating a cherry. So it's just good information out there. Hmm.
Absolutely. Oh, this next one, Melissa says that she has a reverse curve in her neck and it's very tight muscles in her neck and shoulders every time she tries to lift weights, even the light ones. She gets really sore. So I think she needs to come down to Panama City Beach so you
Yes.
could crack her
Oh
back.
my gosh. I will say this. The whole cervical spine, neck, sternum, what's that sternocleidomastoid muscle is, I don't know why, but like whenever people do rows, whenever people do planks, people manipulate their head in the most I just unbelievable way. Please, for when you guys are training, we did a abs on Instagram Live, which is actually on Michelle's Instagram page, Dr. Michelle, Dr. Sands, is please always keep your cervical spine in alignment. You should always, because when people press, they'll put their chin down, they'll put their neck up. A lot of neck issues can be prevented by correct posture in a nutshell. Keep your cervical spine in alignment with your thoracic spine. Just keep your spine straight. So that would eliminate, because I see people just moving their head all over the place. And that's where you're setting yourself up for some serious neck issues.
Yeah, so we demonstrated that on Monday on our ab workout on
Mhm.
Instagram Live, and it's living on my Instagram page. It's actually the third post back. So I went ahead and posted my Instagram if you guys want to follow. And if you do follow, you'll see our lives every Monday morning at 10:30
10:30, yes.
Central, 9:30 Eastern.
And also she tags me, so I'm quad father. You'll see why I'm
Oh, you'll see he's tagged all the time.
you'll see why I'm quad father. But anyway, so please feel free. I'm always posting motivational stuff on my stories as well. Love to have you.
Awesome. All right. So, okay, I'm gonna scroll back up. You go ahead and do number 5?
Okay. This is, I mean, we probably have 100 things that get you from reaching your goals, but these are the most popular. The same workout, the same exercises, the same tempo, same weight, same rep scheme equals no progression. Um, so I saw someone said the flex tempo.
Yeah.
It's interesting. One of the old schools techniques is called 21s, and I'll bring this up because a lot of people have heard this. It's basically when you take an exercise, usually the bicep curl, and you focus on the 7 upper portion to hit that peak. So basically, the
Yeah,
set
so the whole range of motion on bicep curl is basically
all the way
all
up,
the way up, all the way down.
and I'll say, okay, Michelle, give me 7 top half,
So the top half would be just to
and so
the
you're
middle.
focusing on the contraction. And then I said, okay, that was 7. I'll go down. I'll go ahead and
You do the
get,
bottom half.
but that's focusing on the lengthening of the muscle. And then after she does that, okay, Michelle, go ahead and I'll give you 7 full reps.
Yeah.
So just doing that rep of 21s, we are changing the tempo of the range of motion. And then we have supination and pronation. It's a lot more to go over than we have the time for in this discussion, but we are altering the speed. Here's one for you. I can do 20 pull-ups. I don't want to say easy, but fairly easy. I do a 1-minute pull-up, 30 seconds up, 30 seconds
Oh my
down.
God.
Oh, that's hard.
I can't imagine.
So what I'm trying to say is, please change the speed. Unilateral, for those that are doing dumbbell chest press. I'll say, okay, doc, I want you to go ahead down and do unilateral. You keep one arm up. I'll do it this way. Keep one arm up and go down. Just changing from, we did a first unilateral leg press because all leg presses are bilateral. We have a leg press by hammer strength, one leg at a time. We look like baby deer. We're like baby deer that was just born. We couldn't, we're like, why? So what I'm saying is if you really want to challenge yourself, please change for chest day. People always do a chest press, hammer machine, and then flies. Why not do flies for the first time? Why not do hamstring curls and calves before your leg workout, before the glute bridges? So that's a massive tip for those that are currently working out, is change up the order and change the tempo and come up with creative exercises. The great thing about even on our page, the GlowFit page, is we have, this is your prescription for today, your hidden shoulders. And then not only do we have our shoulder program, we have a ton of shoulder exercises to choose from if you're away from the gym or home, if you don't have access to equipment. So we have a ton of variety. So variety is critical and key for progression. Okay.
Yes, that's really important. So those interested in the GlowFit program, there's a couple of questions. Yes, you can join monthly and then you can upgrade later. That's completely fine. We're not trying to rope you in, or you definitely join monthly and then continue on. The only difference is the monthly rate is a little bit higher if you go monthly. And then also, if you do join the annual or the 6 month, you do get a private session, video session with Coach Kijon to actually walk you through, and you can do that anytime during the program. The annual gets a video session with Coach Kijon and or me. You really want with Coach Kijon, I'll hang out with you if you want, but
you want to talk to her
for the fitness part, I really highly recommend you do that with Coach Kijon. I will be there if you want, and he can look at your form. He can look at your body and be like, okay, I would focus on these 3 exercises on your 3rd workout day. He can talk to you about injuries. He can talk to you about your metabolism, he can give you a pep talk. He's also a life coach. So there's so much more to this.
What happens is before, we'll schedule an appointment and I'll say, okay, I want you to write down all the exercises, all the questions that you have. And then maybe what they'll do is they'll send me, okay, I need help with reverse lunges. I'm not feeling my glutes in the glute bridge. And so what happens is we maximize that time. So obviously each session is customized to the person, whatever issues they may have.
Yeah, so you get one for fitness and you get one for nutrition. And I could definitely help on the nutrition call. We both have different strengths when it comes to nutrition. Coach Kijon for the body aesthetics, the metabolic, the physique part of it. And also just he's very holistic in nature as well. As one of the things that really attracted me to Coach Kijon and wanted to make me share him with you is that he doesn't do any processed stuff. He's all natural. No steroids, no drugs, no cheats or quick fixes. And so, I met him and we were talking about weight training, but he had sound bowls, all kinds of cool,
a fitness shop in the gym. And I remember, as a bodybuilder, I'm not sure if you guys know what I'm talking about. There's these sound bowls. I'm in the chakras and alignments and, meditation and gratefulness. And it's funny, she told me, it's like, I guess there's a lot of fit guys out there, but I take great pride in, this is like my avatar and I take care of it so I can move effortlessly through this world. And so that's why we preach mind, body, and spirit here. So yes, we talk about the body, but and you guys know it's if you don't go within, you go without. So it's definitely a holistic approach here at GlowFit.
Absolutely. So with the annual, you get 2 calls With the 6 month, you get one call. With the monthly, you don't get any included. You could absolutely book one, and we can work with you there. So
Yeah, and we're interactive on our group page.
yeah, so even if you don't have a call, you can just post if you want to know how to just like, here's how I'm doing my glute bridges. I'm not feeling it. What do you think? And we're gonna give you that feedback as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, so it's this week, it's 50% off. Plus, we get the free bottle of goddess drops, which is the natural herbal blend. It's a tincture, and what it does is it activates your metabolism, helps curb cravings naturally, and also helps with brain health.
That would definitely help in the detox starting.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
That'd be a great thing to kick off the detox.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's see. Paulette says I spent $400 a month since last April and no results. Doing my 4 weight workouts on the diet and nutrition, 10,000 steps a day, and gained rather than lost. It's the heaviest I've been in 15 years. So that what I'll say is that not all training is created equal. Not all nutrition plans are created equal. Unfortunately, you might be on a plan that's not right for you and your body or your goals. And it's unfortunate that whoever you're working with isn't updating this. So like, if you were in our program, if you were in GLOWFIT and it's like a month had gone by and you're like, I haven't gotten any results. Coach Kijon will look at your workouts, look at your macros, have you take progress pictures, have you do measurements, talk to you about what's going on, and make some adjustments to your program so that you can then get results. You should not be just stagnant on the program. And, not unfortunately, some trainers just like give you, like, this is the program they give everybody, or this is what they do, and they don't really give you that feedback. So I'm sorry that that happened to you, but definitely don't make that your story about you, what your body can do. Um, and just, I know that you kind of gone backwards and that's frustrating. And she might be doing some of these things, right? You might be doing some of the things that we talked about.
Yes.
Not your fault. It might be your trainer telling you to do some of these things. So I know I used to work when I was in college. I was a trainer at 24 Hour Fitness. And oh my God, it was me and all these other college kids that are trainers. And we would like try to like people come in and we have a contest to see like who we can make puke fat first. Or,
Okay.
we'd be like, oh, I'm gonna make this person do like 1,000 lunges, and then I'm gonna make my person do 1,200 lunges. And it was just like we weren't doing it for them, we were doing it for our entertainment. And we
And,
were still certified personal trainers.
and we're not saying that that's the case here.
No.
So, I don't know. In life, what I've come to learn, Michelle, is like what you earnestly seek, you will experience. So maybe having these experiences for those, we've all had negative
Yeah.
experiences. So maybe with that life lesson, now you know what to look for. You know the energy to search out. I always tell my young children, they're like, Dad, how do I know whenever I hear the truth? Because everyone's telling me something different.
Yeah.
And my words is it will resonate with you. So that's why, we would like for everyone to be involved with us, but it may not be the right time. It may not be the right energy. Maybe I'm too old. I don't know. I'm joking. Maybe she smiles too much. But at the end of the day, don't give up on your hopes and dreams because
Yeah.
you deserve it. So whether it's the Glow Fit or whether it's, whatever, but don't give up. That's all I got to say to you is don't give up because we all deserve our best lives because we all have a story.
What we know about Paulette is she's willing to work out 4 days a week with weights.
True.
She's willing to do 10,000
True.
steps, and she's willing to follow a nutrition
True
program.
that. True that.
So
Yes.
you're gonna be like, if you did join GlowFit, you'd be pretty pretty good because like we know that you're already willing to put in the work and you're willing to take
And Paulette, if
instruction.
if you decide to join even for a month,
Yeah.
I will personally even when you get started, I will meet with you online. And even though that doesn't come with the program, since you went through all this,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will meet with you just on
And evaluate what she
on
was
on
doing
on a
before.
video call on a video call.
Yeah, Paulette Brady. We'll remember her name.
Okay. Yep.
All right, awesome. Yeah, we want to help you, Paula, because that is a shame, and I know that it's frustrating to put in that much work and then not and actually go backwards.
Yes.
So yes, definitely, and we can look at your other health issue, like aspects of your health, to see if there's something else. I was in Puerto Rico. I moved to Puerto Rico for a little bit, and I was in a house with mold, And I actually gained 20 pounds in like 4 months
Wow.
just for being exposed to the mold. And I'm still doing my same workouts and still doing my same nutrition. So there could be something else going on as well. And we can kind of evaluate that with your intake. And so I'm happy to help you out there as well. Awesome. All right, let's see. See, I believe intermittent fasting will heal the gut. We aren't meant to eat all day. Absolutely. Yeah. So your body does need some time to
Yes.
process. And if you just keep putting more stuff in,
Yes.
it's almost like if you're trying to clean the house and your kids come in and then they mess it up while you're cleaning. You're like, "Ah, this house is never going to get clean." And you almost get it clean. And then your husband comes home with six of his friends and they got all their beer cans around and they're watching football and their dirty socks are down. And it's like, oh my God, that's kind of what your gut's thinking. Like, it's like trying to process. I was like, stop it. I just can't want to have like a clean house for like a minute.
And that's why the detox is so critical for our program. And we set you up for success.
Absolutely. Does he do it live? I've had training prior. Does he do it live showing? When we're on the call, when he's on the call with you, yes, he will show you live actually how to do the
Oh yeah,
workouts. Yeah,
yeah. We'll FaceTime. If you're in the program and whatnot, will FaceTime and whatever issues that you have, whether it's an exercise, detailing your nutritional program and stuff like anything for success.
absolutely. All right, let's see. I'm struggling with 15 pounds of weight at 44 years old. Had some digestion issues, which I'm not absorbing protein, and adrenal issues, which might be contributing to my weight gain. Will the plan be tailored to my body and my issues? Is it possible to lose weight and gain muscle with these issues? Yes, it is possible to lose weight and gain muscle with those issues because part of the program is also going to be helping to heal your adrenals, um, working out in a way that actually is beneficial to your hormones and not going to stress the body. So that's like super important. When we design the workouts, when we design the nutrition, we do it in a way that is actually to balance your hormones and to support your body's processes and hormonal health, not to beat it down. So that's like one of the things we changed with me.
Hmm.
I was beating my body down.
Oh,
I'm an overachiever, so I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm just gonna crush it every day.
for hours.
Crush it. I'm gonna go as hard as possible. Even yesterday, we did a little short cardio session, 20 minutes. And the way we did it was doing a little sprint and then going into our fat burning zone. So the sprint was 1 minute, fat burning zone
2 minutes.
was 2 minutes. And I'm like, I've never done this before because I would just sprint for the whole 20 minutes.
Yes.
But that's bad for my adrenals, it's bad for my hormones,
Okay.
and it's bad for my overall well-being,
Yes.
right? And so just like little tweaks like that can definitely help you. Um, the food plan is gonna definitely help with your gut issues. It's gonna be whole real foods. We definitely have customizable. We do macro-based nutrition. So if you are sensitive to, let's say, pork or peanuts or something that is just doesn't sit well with you, you can omit that completely and still follow the macros. I do recommend gluten, dairy free for everybody. I do try to take pork out for most people because it tends to be inflammatory, and then peanuts. But if you really like those things and you don't want to give them up and you say you do fine with them, you can put them back in as well, and you still get results. Like you eat gluten, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So Coach Kijon eats gluten and dairy, and he's fine with it. He doesn't have any problems digesting it, and that's in his plan, not in my plan.
Mhm.
So it's all definitely tailored to what you need and how you need to do it. And
And
yeah,
and also to this is very important. Is the objective to tracking in the beginning is so you don't ever have to track. If someone told me to be a world-class athlete, or to, be in the shape that I am, that I would have to track my food and eat chicken and broccoli for the rest of my life, I'd be like, I'm out of here. The whole point of the program is for us to help you to get to know your body, number one, and also exercise should be a stimulation, not a means to destroy the body and, like you said, the adrenal glands, the cortisol. I
you
want.
have the story that like my adrenals are fine, right? Because I'm like, I test my adrenals and they're fine. Like they do come out fine on a test, but I was constantly like beating my body up to a point where it was actually stealing my muscle. I was burning fat, yeah. I was not fat, I was thin, but I didn't have like the strong, chiseled, aesthetically pleasing body.
Yes, yes. So, just know that a healthy program, a fitness program is centered around, believe it or not, every time my clients drop body fat, not weight, there's a difference. Because
Mhm.
if she drops 10 pounds and she drops 10 pounds, she dropped 10 pounds of fat, let's go. She dropped 10 pounds of muscle, we have a red flag.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, our goal is to help you drop body fat in a way that works for you. And number two, the amount of exercise to stimulate muscle growth. You don't need, people say, oh, at my level, you must be trained for 3 hours. I get 4 people on my team and we're done in 75 minutes. 4 people. So what I'm trying to say is like you can tear a muscle down in a very short amount of time. And it goes back down to number two, not pushing hard enough, not working to failure. But these are the things that we keep preaching in our program.
Well, even a lot of times when we worked out, I'm like, are we gonna do more?
Right.
Yeah, is
And
that
now
all
she
we're
knows
gonna
better.
do?
Now she knows better to ask. So you could have done 20 more reps then, doc.
Yeah, because it's more about doing the exercise to failure or getting the most out of the exercise, not doing more exercises.
Yes.
Yeah, which we've learned. All right, let's see. What was number one? Oh, we have this recorded, so we're not actually gonna go back through. We will. I'll just mention them all, but we're not gonna go back through the explanation of all of them because we actually have a bonus one that we're gonna do. But we did record this, so you can go ahead and watch. Let's see. Do you mean after adjust and adapt? Oh, I don't know what that question was. Should we go to failure on every set or round?
Okay. Um, that's a great question. The answer is yes, with a caveat. If you're a type of person that's doing barbell squats, okay, not Smith machine, where you have weight on your back and it could be suspect, no, you don't go to absolute failure. But if she's doing a bicep curl, and I said, okay, doc, we're going to go to 15 reps and I want the hardest set of 15. If she's doing a 20-pound dumbbell and at 15, I'm looking at her going, oh my gosh, you can do 10 more. That weight was not heavy enough. So you have to be smart in the exercise choice. So if it's like a lat pull down or a machine chest press where you can't get hurt, then yes, you want to go to failure. However, if you're doing deadlifts with heavy weight, barbell squats, or anything that can be suspect to your spine or your lower back or your neck, the answer is no. But if you're safely supported with back support and you're in a position where you can't hurt yourself, yes, you should be going to failure. So if the rep program is 15, 12, 10. Those are your 3 sets. You need to pick a weight that is challenging for 15, not like, oh, I got 15. Let me go to 12 now. So every time that I'm lifting a weight that's set in front of me is my current challenge. I'm not worried about set two, exercise three, or what I'm doing later in my workout. So always do your best with what's in your hand at that moment.
Yeah, when we're working out, like it's like almost like a joke now. Coach Kijon will often tell me this is the last set of the day.
Mm,
And I know it's not because we just started, so it's not the last set of the day. But he wants me to think like give him my all as if it
yes.
was the last set of the day.
Yes.
But I always laugh in my head. It's not the last set.
Yes. My goal is whenever I train, I'm in, she's competing here this weekend coming up, but I have a big pro show. And, how can I say this? It's almost like my secret is that everything that I do, when I'm eating, I'm not just eating for taste. I'm like, is this food, these nutrients making my body leaner, faster, stronger? Don't get me wrong, my ice cream is my thing. And every once in a while, I allow myself to enjoy that.
I've never seen you eat ice cream.
I do it. I'm a closet. So I should be telling you that. But what I'm trying to say is, have grace, but work hard towards your body, challenge yourself, and allow yourself, if it's pizza or whatever it is, Quest potato chips.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Quest potato chip.
Yeah.
But yeah, 80/20 rule. So that's how I live my life.
Hmm.
80% of the time I'm on plan. I'm eating to fuel my body. I'm doing my workouts perfectly. I'm meditating. I'm getting my sleep. I'm doing all the things. I'm avoiding all the toxins. 20% of the time, I'm living my life. I'm out there having fun. I'm not doing horrible things. I'm not doing drugs. I don't drink. I'm not eating McDonald's, but I might have, a burger or I might have I don't usually eat pizza because
Right,
I'm
right, right,
sensitive
right.
to those things,
Right.
but like I'll eat the Quest chips or the protein bars or, you know, some of my sons like candy or whatever it might be, because that's life. I mean, the reason why we do a fitness program, the reason why we're in
Enjoy
any
it.
health program, yeah, is so that we can go out there and enjoy our lives,
Yes.
not so that we can live in a closet and never go out to eat with our family and don't go to birthday
Oh
parties
my
and don't
gosh,
eat
yes.
grandma's cooking, right? Those are all enjoyments of life, but we just can't do it every day. Like we can go to a party or go have a meal, but then we don't want to eat the leftovers for like the next 4 days of that bad meal.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so it is definitely a balance. So you don't have to be perfect all the time, but you should be on track most of the time, the majority of the time.
Yep. No.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Here's a kind of similar question to the one before it. I'm 73 and I push hard, but my joints get inflamed and I don't recover for 3 days on a body part.
Well, well, congratulations at 73
Yeah,
that you're pushing hard.
love it.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. Without watching you train, without seeing your body fat, without knowing your strength or your mindset, and also your lifestyle. I
Mhm.
mean, there's so many factors that, but I will say this, you got 13 years, 14 years on me, is that I make up for my lack of youth, for lack of better words, by proper rest, my nutrition, my vitamin. I'm doing turmeric and ginger, and I'm an extremely healthy
Yeah.
person. So I can't say that my 58-year-old body is on par with recovery than my 19-year-old body, but I will say this. The way I treat my 58-year-old body with the sleep and rest, and like she said, no alcohol, no drugs, and all that stuff like that, I won't have to say that my body is pretty close to my 19-year-old body as far as recovery. So saying that to answer your question, you know, at 73, I got a little arthritis in my shoulder and stuff like that. So make sure that you're maximizing your sleep, your vitamins, your nutrients.
The healthy fats are really
Oh,
important
yes,
here,
you
omega
need all that.
3s.
And if you are, in fact, if you can look at yourself and say, yes, I am doing everything that I am should be doing, then maybe you want to talk to Dr. Michelle about certain situations.
Yeah.
However, if you're not doing that right now, getting a lot of water, getting the ample protein and low glycemic foods and processed foods with sodium, low sodium, maybe that's contributing to the inflammation. Okay. So
Mhm.
I've come to realize, I can't speak for you or anybody else, but with the thousands of sessions that I've done with my clients, is that usually their nutrition is what's holding them back up for the recovery from the workouts, and especially at 73 pushing hard.
Yeah.
Your nutrition needs to be on point with sleep.
Yeah, I would say that definitely like seeing how she's doing her workouts,
Hmm.
right? Because it could be a form issue.
Hmm.
So it's
Hmm.
putting stress or strain
Hmm.
on a joint. Like
Yes.
just the tweaking, like a slight angle could definitely put stress on a joint.
Hmm.
Um, Low estrogen, you're 73, if you're not on hormone replacement therapy, estrogen is so important for lubricating our joints and for reducing joint pain. So that could be an issue. But nutrition and Coach Kijon, like every meal, he's like thinking, like, where's the healthy fats?
Yeah.
Where's the anti-inflammatory herbs? Where are we putting, how are we going to make this
Optimal.
protein? How are we going to make this fuel my muscles? How are we going to make this reduce inflammation? How are we going to make this good for my gut? How are we going to make this good for my skin? How are we going to make this you the best you possible for my body? And so you really do like look at all the components. And I
Hmm.
see you when you're putting together a meal, you're like, this has, oh, where's the healthy fat? Where's this? Where's that? And so that is going to be huge. Omega 3s are definitely big for reducing inflammation. Also, the herbs, the turmeric, the ginger, all those anti-inflammatory herbs are going to be so important as well. So those are just a couple things to think about. If you do join the program, the GLOWFIT program, we can definitely help you with both the nutrition and the workouts. And then also I can help you with the hormones as well. Awesome. Let's see. I start at the, oh, I already answered that one. You start the monthly rate. Yes. So you can join monthly if you just want to kind of put your toe in the water and see if you like it. And then you can always switch or upgrade later at any time. Just let us know. Are we supposed to be doing the health wise age appropriate? Are we supposed to I don't understand the question, Karen.
Aren't we supposed to do health wise and age appropriate?
Oh, okay. So maybe is she asking, you might be asking like, should people in their 50s work out differently than people in their 20s? And should people in
Mm,
their 50s have a similar, do the same weight training as people in their 70s?
That's a great question because, like, oh boy, I'm coming from a totally different perspective because as I've gotten older, I've realized I'm not the norm. So let
Yeah, let me just say for like Coach Kijon, like he can hold his own in both like agility, jumping on top of boxes, doing the rowing machine, lifting weights, pushing a sled with the very strong 20-year-olds at the gym.
Yeah, there's not too many people that will outperform me at any age. So I might be not I'm definitely an outlier. But here's what I've learned is that if you're a 20-year-old with neck issues, you have just the same amount of concern and issues as a
Yeah.
70-year-old. So I don't know what age appropriate is. And Dr. Michelle wants me to do this test. We just talked about this.
Yeah.
What is the test?
It's a true age epigenetic
Yeah,
test.
a true age epigenetics test because I know I'm not sure what that would show, but I'm not 58 years old
Biologically.
biologically because I
Yeah.
know I played college football. I was a phenomenal athlete, and I'm going to say I'm pretty close if I'm not even stronger. So I don't understand like what age appropriate is.
Well, okay, so I would say like if you've never worked out and
Oh,
you're 58 years old, then it's going to be very different than someone who's had a lifestyle of fitness at 50 years old.
100%
Yeah.
agree. But there's a 20-year-old who's never worked out, and he's starting at the same space. So as a trainer, the answer is absolutely because our
Yeah.
our recovery time at 50 is way different than a
Mhm.
20-year-old. But I will say this, every person I've ever trained, the first thing I do is what is your background? Oh, I played Division I football. Oh, okay, Mr. Jones. So you have it, and those bodies recover they get the faster results. So yes, whatever age that you are, starting a weight training program at 50, I would have definitely much more concern than a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, um, her progression at 50, she just turned 51, is one of the fastest progressions I've ever seen in my life. Her transformation in 6 to 8 weeks was mind-boggling to me. If I didn't know what she was doing, I would have sworn she was taking performance-enhancing drugs. I've never seen anything like it. And I could not look at
And
somebody.
this is compared to some of the 20 something year
That's
olds you've
compared to
trained.
everybody
Yeah.
I've ever trained over 35 years. So what I'm saying is you have what's called genetic predisposition. And without going too far off topic, you have a genetic predisposition of fast twitch to slow twitch muscle fiber types. Usain Bolt, the world-class Jamaican sprinter, was born with those muscle fiber types. While he could probably run a long distance marathon because of his mindset, I'm highly doubt that he's going to beat a 120-pound Kenyan. So what I'm trying to say is like we all have these genetics and we have to find out and work within our genetics. So at 50, just starting out, and if you have shoulder and lower back issues, please work at a slower age appropriate. But I'm going to have to use a better word instead of age appropriate. How about fitness appropriate?
Yeah, that's what I feel like that's the way to
That's a
go.
better
Yeah.
word.
It's
Fitness
not
appropriate.
your age, it's your fitness level, it's your health history, it's your current state of health,
Yes.
basically.
Yes.
So, yeah, working out appropriately for your current state of health.
Yes. Because I've trained a bunch of 20-year-old girls who are getting ready for the same competition that she is, and they physically can't keep up with her. That's a fact. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Strength wise. So yes, that's a great question. And by all means, age fit appropriate. Yes.
Appropriate for you. And that's
Yep.
why it's customizable. And that's why like
Yeah.
our program is very interactive and you can get the support, you can get the feedback, you can get the updates, and we're constantly tweaking things to make it right for you.
Yeah. I mean, if you're 19 years old and you've had, weight issues and your knees are shot, I'm not going to force you to do a deep squat, bodyweight squat.
Exactly.
Same thing with a 6-year-old. I'm not going to make you. But then I've met 7-year-olds. I'm looking at them going, oh, Miss Ernestine Shepherd out of Baltimore, Maryland. Beautiful dark-skinned woman. She's a client of mine whenever I live there. She's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the old woman's oldest bodybuilder. She's got to be
Oh my
pushing
God.
full-on six-pack. And I was training her in her 70s. I've never seen someone so strong. Google Miss Ernestine Shepherd. She's out of Baltimore, and I used to work with her. And she was the first mind boggler for me I probably was in my maybe late 30s, early 40s. I'm looking at this 75-year-old woman going, this is impossible. And the common denominator is she didn't think she was 70, whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly. I
Mindset,
don't feel
no,
51.
mindset is everything. I want to say mindset is my reality.
Absolutely. Yeah. So appropriate for you is
Yes,
what
go
you'll
for
get.
it. You
Yeah.
got this. Be smart, but go for it.
We have one bonus tip. or not
Right.
tip, but things that might be holding you back.
And that goes right along with what we're just talking about.
Yeah.
And that is comparing yourself to others. Oh my gosh. One of the things that I love about Dr. Michelle, she comes up with these amazing ideas. And the group that we have, the current Glow Fitters, is that we do the fitness challenge. And it's interesting because we have a spirit award. We have everyone recognized, wow, Roger Bannister did the 4 minute mile, broke the 4 minute barrier. The Spirit Award is like you going against you because at the end of the day, we have no idea the private battles that each and every one of you guys are facing right now. And I love that saying, always be kind because, man, you could
Yeah.
be the only bright spot of someone's day. So comparing yourself to others is truly, they say, the greatest thief of your joy.
Hmm.
If you got off the couch today and after dinner went for a walk, you know what? Bravo to
Yeah,
you. It
absolutely.
doesn't matter that someone ran around that block 100 times a day. At the end of the day, if you're bettering you and you're striving to become a better person, you win.
Yeah, it's about your personal best, right? I'm not trying to lift the same as somebody else in the
Mhm.
gym. I'm trying to beat what I did last week, right? It's always about
Mhm.
me against me,
Mhm.
me against old me,
Yes, yes.
right? And so it's always about bettering yourself, but also with comparing yourself to others. I think it's important to note, like, if your best friend did a diet and she got good results, it doesn't mean that you're going to do the same thing and get the same results because you
Mhm.
have a very different body, you have very different like health history that led you up to this point. You have
Mhm.
different metabolism, different genetics. And so, yeah, not everything's going to be perfect for everybody.
Right, right. And you're going to have personal, not you, we all going to have personal roadblocks. And I believe how many roadblocks we overcome in our lifetime, that is our success story. And most people will not know what we've overcome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's just about like making yourself better. So like even on the GlowFit page, that's like the 10.0 version of yourself, not of your neighbor or your sister. It's like getting yourself in the best shape ever, that the best shape you can be. And that's all we can ask for, right?
I have to read this from here.
Okay.
If you don't have a treadmill, will running on a spot work? One of my favorite stories is, let me get this straight. We drive to the gym to walk on a treadmill. That's the funniest story. At the end of the day, the reason why machines were designed is because people can't do a pull-up, they do a machine that's abbreviate a portion of their weight. At the end of the day, forget the treadmill. You have legs, you can just stand there and march in place, you can stand and do lunges. Having a piece of equipment, while it's a luxury and nice, you have a God-given body that moves and breathes. I would take you jogging in place or pretend you have a rope skip. That probably would be better neurologically than walking on a treadmill. So,
Mm,
you don't need, it's nice to have those apparatuses. And I'll be honest with you, at my house, I got dumbbells and spry bands. But at the end of the day, your body is the greatest exercise equipment you've ever had. There's a group in my gym called the Gulf Coast Calisthenics. And these guys and girls, their body, and they don't lift weights. I mean, they'll touch up here and there, but they lift their body. And I'm just like,
yeah,
most beautiful natural bodies out there. And all they do is do their body weight. So, yes, don't let, oh, I can't afford a gym. I can't afford a trainer. Surely can't afford a treadmill. There's a lot of person out there who would wish they had a body that they could afford. So, use your
absolutely.
body. Use your
Yeah,
body.
body weight exercises. There's so much you can do. We have a whole program just using
Spy band.
bands. Yeah, so those stretchy bands, and some people don't know what spray bands are.
True. I know.
Yeah, the bands with the handles that are like the tubing. And that those are actually
Very hard.
very efficient workout. So I was doing all the demos. Like we have demos of showing you how to do every exercise.
Yes.
And we did the dumbbells, we did the machines, and then we got to the bands. Like, woo, those bands.
I need a break. Yeah,
Yeah.
so for those that maybe, in a house you really can't get out or go to a gym or you don't have the time, you have a baby, you're watching your grandkids,
Travel a lot. Yeah.
whatever, getting the spry bands, like, at the end of the day, what I've learned about life, guys, is like that it's such an old cliche saying, where there's a will, there's a
Hmm.
way.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I hope what you get from this taping is, if you really, really want something, just be that person where nothing's going to stop you, especially you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I would say like if you want something to happen, like if you really, really want something, you'll make it happen. And
Mhm.
if it's not that important, you'll make excuses.
Mhm, mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
definitely important.
And if it's your time, let the world know it's your time.
Yeah. And we'd love to help you.
Mhm.
So again, GlowFit is on sale right now. So it includes all your nutrition programming, all of your strength training programming, there's cardiovascular programming, there's weekly challenges, there's weekly coaching and accountability calls, there's a daily 24/7 group that's like a machine going and breeding on its own, where we're
Live
constantly
24/7.
like Coach Kijon's constantly voice messaging people and talking to everybody, making videos. I'm in there all the time, cheering people on, giving support, sharing what I'm doing, sharing my thoughts, sharing advice. And so it's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And so it's actually you're part of something, you're part of a fitness family as well. It's not just an online program like here's the PDF and you're going to go to the gym by yourself and do your workout.
Nice.
It really is a family and a community. And then when Coach Kijon and I travel to different cities,
And we're coming, yeah.
we're doing pop-up workouts. So we'll be coming to a city near you. And if you're in the
Oh my
community,
God, we'd love to
we're going
meet
to
you.
invite you out to work out with
And,
us.
yeah, and be ready for number 2, which was not pushing hard enough, not working to failure. That will change that day, just so you know. Number 2 will not be an issue whenever you train with us.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to answer just a couple more questions.
Yes.
Let's see. All right, I got hormone sensitive cancer. I take a medication that blocks estrogen. I know that I'm estrogen deficient and I can't fix this. What positive things can I do knowing that I can't supplement estrogen? So, if you can't supplement estrogen, and you'll have to talk to your doctor. I have my own opinions on this, but I'm not going to go against your doctor's wishes. But you can definitely do all the other things. So if you have a deficiency over here, what you want to do is you want to shore up everything around it. So you want to get your fitness in line. You want to get your nutrition in line. You want to get your rest and recovery in line. You want to avoid toxins. You want to do some mindset, meditation, manifestation. You want to get out in nature. You want to do all the other things that you can because there's one thing you can't do. And then it's going to bring you up all the way around.
Mm.
Yeah, so there's also other things you can do, like plant estrogens, phytoestrogens can have a very weak but still effective things like flax and some soy, fermented soy that can kind of help you a little bit. Black cohosh is other herbs that can help with some things. But I would also get a second opinion on whether the cancer is actually fueled by estrogen or if it's fueled by something else, DNA damage. So there's a lot of research on that. But definitely get everything else in line and then work with your doctor and see what you can do in the future.
Best wishes.
Absolutely. Let's see. I have a severe deformity in my hands from rheumatoid arthritis. I can't hold on to weights. How do I do upper body strengthening without injuring my hands, possibly getting more deformity?
One thing, this is a specialty item, and the fitness center we train at in Panama City just has a plethora of equipment. There are actually, okay, well, I guess the word is straps, where you can actually just put your wrist through,
Yes.
and it anchors at the wrist. And we were doing that.
Saying that with my finger.
Yes,
The
yes,
straps to hold on to the weight.
yes. So they don't have handles where you have to hold with your hand. So I'm just trying to think.
And there's also like you can strap like wrist weights on.
Yes, and there's also a Velcro and there's a little metal hook, and they're called wrist wraps. Um, if you are unsure and need some help, who wrote that?
This is Marissa Seymour.
Marissa, if you
Or Marilee. My eyes are bad.
okay,
Yeah.
if you message me or if you're on
Yeah,
Instagram,
I'll put your Instagram here.
yeah, just message me on Instagram and I will I will actually find you a link because a lot of my clients use that where it's an apparatus that attaches to your wrist and you don't have to use your fingers and hands, okay? So she's putting up my Instagram, send me a message and I'll show you a link. I'll help you out, okay?
Okay, so
I like the fact that you're not letting what you can't do stop you from what you can, and I will do what I can. I'll get you that information. So reach out to me, okay?
yeah, so I went ahead and put Coach Kijon's Instagram in the chat. You should all follow him. It's pretty awesome,
Yeah.
motivational
So
stuff.
please reach out to me and I'll send you a link, okay? Thank you so much.
Awesome. Program sounds great. Does not fit into my budget right now. Maybe someday. Okay, if it doesn't fit into your budget, follow me on Instagram. Do our Monday workouts. Follow along to what we're doing. I have lots of fitness content that I put out there. Coach Kijon does as well. So definitely follow us both on Instagram. Follow my YouTube channel. And when you're ready for us, we'll be ready for you.
And thank you for saying that. It's interesting, what I've learned in life, anything that I sincerely and authentically being here, talking to you guys, sitting next to Dr. Michelle is a dream come true for me. As mentioned, I've been doing this for like 3.5 decades, and I've always wanted to go to the highest level to me as a trainer is to touch as many lives as I can. And when I first met Dr. Michelle at the gym that I was working at, I had no idea who she was, what she did. And, so what I'm saying is, right now, I trust me, we get about the finances. But if you keep working hard, say, you know what, whatever it is that your goals are, mark my words, watch how life and God works. Everything will work around in your favor. So, one of the things I want to say in closing is like, stay true and authentic to your goals, and I promise you, all of your dreams will come true. But the key word is authenticity.
Oh, I love that.
All right.
Yes, definitely. Like I said, every Monday we share workouts. So
Mhm.
even if you just did that workout
Mhm.
3 times a week and then you did the next workout, and maybe then you stack, okay, we did an ab
Mhm.
workout this week. The week before we did a leg workout. So now you have an ab and a leg workout,
Mhm.
right? So we're going to keep doing that and you'll have a whole plethora of workouts that you can do. And
Mhm.
then, when you do have maybe things change or maybe you want to join for a month or two, get some coaching and then drop out, you could always do that.
Of course.
So there's ways around it. And then also on these calls, we answer questions. We do this often. We could also ask questions on our Instagram.
Mhm.
So we're here to help people.
That's our life.
That's our main mission
Mission is
is
to
to
help as
help
many people
people.
as we can. And for us on this end of it, everything will take care of itself.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we do have to also run a business because we wouldn't be able to help anybody if we were on the street without no internet access and we couldn't do any of these things. So we have to do, but we also want to help as many people as possible. So we're so glad that you're here.
And best wishes to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, yeah, so if anyone has any questions, there's been a couple questions. There is a replay. I'm going to post this to my YouTube channel. So I will post that and send that. Everyone here on the call, I have your email because you signed up for this. And so we will send the replay out via your
Yeah.
email. So
Please
you have
share.
that.
Please share it.
Yes.
If you found it valuable with the nutrition and mindsets and all the things she talked about the hormones, please share it with your loved ones.
Yeah, and if you have other questions or topic ideas for our upcoming lives that we're going to do, definitely send them to me on Instagram or Coach Kijon, and we will cover different topics that you're interested in
Yes.
about fitness and nutrition. Awesome. Yeah, so again, um, GlowFit is on sale this week, 50% off. We'd love to have you join the program.
Mhm.
It's so much fun. The results are phenomenal. If you're in the program, I know, so I've seen some names of who are in the program on here. We love having you.
Yes.
And, we really hope that you get the most out of it. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. It's been a fun night. And we wish you the best, health and fitness to everybody. Yeah, that's all I have. And
Yep.
follow me on Instagram. You'll learn about my competition this
Oh,
weekend.
and it's live stream for those that actually want to see Dr. Michelle standing on stage half naked.
Oh God.
It's a very skimpy suit, but tune in. But it was for me personally, thank you guys so much for being here. And we authentically, the difference for us is that we want to help as many people as we can, and we're grateful for you guys. So thank you guys so much, and okay, have a good night.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. Thank you. See you soon. Take care.